You've probably heard of Paradise Islands, right? Sun-drenched beaches, crystal clear water, palm trees swaying in the gentle breeze. But what if I told you there's an island that's the complete opposite? An island so hostile, so shrouded in mystery and danger, that it's earned the nickname the Evil Island. This isn't a setting for a horror movie, it's a real place. Welcome to North Sentinel Island, a tiny speck in the Bay of Bengal that has resisted all contact with the outside world for tens of thousands of years. The people who live there, the Sentinelese, are one of the last uncontacted tribes on Earth. We know almost nothing about their language, their culture, or their beliefs. What we do know is that they guard their home with fierce determination. Anyone who dares to approach is met with a volley of arrows. This isn't an exaggeration. Fishermen, researchers, and even low-flying helicopters have all been targets. Their message is brutally clear. Stay away. So what makes this island so evil? Is it the people? Or is it something else entirely? To understand, we have to look at the history of our interactions with them. For centuries, the Sentinelese have been a subject of morbid curiosity. In the 19th century, a British naval officer named Maurice Vidal Portman actually landed on the island and, in a horribly misguided act, kidnapped an elderly couple and several children. He brought them back to his base, hoping to study Shme. Tragically, the couple quickly fell ill and died, likely from exposure to diseases they had no immunity to. Portman, realizing his mistake, returned the children to the island with gifts, but the damage was done. This first contact was a disaster, a traumatic event that likely cemented their hostility towards outsiders for generations. You can't really blame them, can you? From their perspective, every interaction with the outside world has brought nothing but suffering and death. Our world, with its common colds and flus, is a biological weapon to them. A simple handshake could potentially wipe out their entire population. Their isolation isn't born from malice. It's a survival strategy. They're not evil. They're protecting themselves from a world that has only ever shown them its worst side. Over the years, there have been several attempts to make peaceful contact. In the 1970s, a National Geographic film crew tried to approach the island, leaving gifts like a doll and a pig. The Sentinelese responded by shooting arrows at them, one of which hit the film director in the thigh. They then buried the doll and the pig, making their feelings perfectly clear. In the 80s and 90s, an Indian anthropologist named Trilognath Pandit led several expeditions. These were some of the only relatively friendly encounters ever recorded. His team would approach the island and drop coconuts into the water as gifts. Sometimes the Sentinelese would accept them. On one rare occasion, they even approached the boat unarmed, a moment of cautious curiosity. But these moments were fleeting. The Indian government eventually decided that the risks were too great, both for their own people and for the tribe, and they established a 3-mile exclusion zone around the island, making any attempt to go there illegal. The most famous recent incident occurred in 2018. An American missionary named John Allen Shaw, driven by a fervent desire to convert the tribe, illegally paid fishermen to take him to the island. He knew the risks. He wrote in his diary, "You guys might think I'm crazy in all this, but I think it's worthwhile to declare Jesus to these people." He made several attempts to land, calling out to them and offering gifts. Each time he was met with hostility. On his final attempt, he was killed. The fishermen who dropped him off saw the tribespeople dragging his body along the beach. His body was never recovered. The incident sparked a global debate. Was he a martyr or a fool? Was it a tragic misunderstanding or a predictable consequence of ignoring countless warnings? Whatever your opinion, Chow's death highlighted the fundamental dilemma of North Sentinel Island. Our desire to explore, to connect, to understand, clashes directly with their right to be left alone. Their isolation is what has allowed them to survive untouched by the modern world for 60,000 years. They are a living link to our prehistoric past. Exposing them to our world wouldn't just be dangerous, it would be the end of theirs. So what's really happening on that island? We can only speculate. Are they living in a primitive paradise, a world without stress, pollution, or the pressures of modern life? Or is their existence a constant struggle for survival against the elements? The truth is, we don't know, and we probably never will. And maybe that's the point. In a world where every corner of the globe has been mapped, photographed, and posted online, North Sentinel Island remains a true mystery. It's a powerful and humbling reminder that there are still places and people on this earth that are completely beyond our reach and our understanding. The island itself is a geological wonder. It's covered in dense, old-growth forest. Satellite images show it's a vibrant green, teeming with life. It's surrounded by shallow reefs and lagoons, which have proven to be a death trap for ships that stray too close. The wrecks of two large cargo ships, the Primrose and the Eldobra, are still visible from the air, slowly being consumed by the sea and the jungle. These shipwrecks have become an unlikely source of metal for the Sentinelese, who have been observed scavenging from the hulls to forge arrowheads and other tools. It's a fascinating example of them adapting to the modern world, but on their own terms, using our debris to strengthen their defenses against us. The Indian government's policy of non-interference is now strictly enforced. They conduct occasional aerial surveys from a safe distance, primarily to check on the well-being of the tribe after natural disasters like the 2004 tsunami. After that devastating event, a helicopter flew over the island to see if they had survived. The world held its breath. Then, a lone Sentinelese warrior emerged from the jungle and fired an arrow at the helicopter. It was the best possible news. It meant they were alive, and they were still fighting. Ultimately, calling North Sentinel the Evil Island is a profound mischaracterization. It's a label that comes from our fear of the unknown, from a failure to see the world from their perspective. They are not villains in a story. They are a people who have suffered at our hands and have made a choice. They have chosen to remain separate, to preserve their way of life, and to defend their home at all costs. Their hostility is not evil. It's a desperate and so far successful act of self-preservation. The story of the Sentinelese forces us to ask some difficult questions about ourselves. What gives us the right to impose our world on others? Is contact always a good thing? And in our quest for knowledge, where do we draw the line? North Sentinel Island is a place that holds a mirror up to our own history of colonialism, disease, and cultural destruction. It stands as a solitary, defiant symbol of resistance. It's not an evil island, it's a forbidden one. A tragic and beautiful mystery that we must, for their sake and for ours, leave unsolved. The greatest gift we can give the Sentinelese people is the one thing they've been demanding for centuries: to simply be left alone. To let them continue their ancient way of life, free from our interference, our diseases, and our judgment. Their future is in their own hands, just as they want it to be. And that's a right we have to respect. Thanks so much for watching. What do you think about North Sentinel Island? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this story as fascinating as I did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. See you next time.